Okay, let's hit the audio sound bites. And again, we're leading off here with a couple from Trump because this takes into another area. Trump went on with Stephanopoulos yesterday. Now, what generally happens when Republicans go on with Stephanopoulos is that Stephanopoulos is an operative in the Hillary Clinton campaign. Well, not by title, but that's, of course, what he does. No, he works at ABC as a journalist, but that's just his assignment. He's a Democrat. He's a Democrat political hack and operative who has been placed at Good Morning America. Stephanopoulos got the whole war on women thing started with this bogus question on contraception that he asked Mitt Romney and a number of other things. And your average ordinary Republican ought to avoid this show like crazy. But Trump went on it and is just not going to take any of the usual flack that comes his way. And in his own way shows how this is done. So Stephanopoulos says, you did stir up a controversy with those comments over the database. Let's try to clear that up. Are you unequivocally now ruling out a database on all Muslims? You see, he never, ever suggested a database. This is a total media setup and trick. However, we do have databases already because of 9/11. We've got databases of all kinds of people we suspect of terrorist activity or that we know have engaged into. Of course we've got databases. What's the NSA bulk data phone collection? Of course, it's absurd to think that we do. What they're trying to do is say that Trump wants to have a database of all these Muslims and Syrians before we let them in the country and so forth. Anyway, here's how Trump answered that question.
No, not at all. I want database for the refugees that if they come into the country, we have no idea who these people are. When the Syrian refugees are going to start pouring into this country, we don't know if they're ISIS. We don't know if it's a Trojan horse. And I definitely want a database and other checks and balances. We want to go with watch lists. We want to go with databases. And we have no choice. We have no idea who's being sent in here. This could be the great Trojan. It's probably not, but it could be the great Trojan horse of all time where they come in. When I look at those migration, when I look at the migration and the lines, and I see all strong, very powerful-looking men. They're men. And I see very few women. I see very few children. There's something strange going on.
Okay, now, this next question is so predictable, and it's classic. George Stephanopoulos, little George, wants to find out from Trump what he thinks of waterboarding. This is right out of the anti-George Bush Democrat Party playbook. This is born of the belief that every American is appalled that we would ever engage in any kind of enhanced interrogation technique. This is rooted in the belief that all Americans are sickened by interrogation techniques engaged in by the United States during the Bush administration. And because they think everybody's sickened by it, they now ask Trump if he has waterboarding come up in this campaign? Just let me ask you. Just like when Stephanopoulos asked Romney about contraception, it wasn't in anybody's rearview mirror. It wasn't anybody's down the road in the future. It was just nothing. And now here comes waterboarding. Out of the blue, out of nowhere. It's a setup. It's designed for Trump to fall into a trap so they can then start doing to Trump what they think they succeeded in doing to Bush, making him pro-torture, mean, un-American. Now, I'm fascinated the way the libs define un-American, by the way. I'm really fascinated that. But anyway, so here's the question. You told Yahoo News that we have to be doing things that were unthinkable a year ago. For example, do you think we should bring back enhanced interrogation like waterboarding, Mr. Trump? And I can just, Stephanopoulos he's salivating. He just can't wait. He thinks he's asked the question that's going to destroy Trump.
Well, we have to be strong. You know, they don't use waterboarding over there. They use chopping off people's heads. They use drowning people. I don't know if you've seen with the cages where they put people in cages and they drown them in the ocean and then they lift out the cage. And we're talking about waterboarding.
So you'd bring back waterboarding?
I would bring it back, yes, I would bring it back. I think waterboarding is peanuts compared to what they do to us, what they're doing to us, what they did to James Foley when they chopped off his head. That's a whole different level.
I guarantee you, from Media Matters to the Daily Cause to every pajama-clad left-wing lunatic out there, they're just be, oh my God, he just came up for torture. Oh my God, Trump came up, and they're scared now. They're scared. Oh, Trump's going to waterboard. Oh, and they're opposed, and they just can't. They thought they'd done away with this, and Trump's just unapologetic. He didn't hem-haw around, and so the media, Trump pro-waterboarding, hasn't hurt. Note the way he framed it. It's peanuts compared to what they do to us. What's missing in questions like this that Stephanopoulos and his liberal buddies ask is, they have no idea what the majority of the American people think about how to deal with people trying to destroy this country. Most people think the purpose of war is to kill people and break things better than the other side does, to the point they surrender. This is not patty cake. There's no political correctness in war. And these guys, Stephanopoulos, do not get it. They think these are home run questions. They cannot understand Trump's answer helping him because they do not understand the majority of the American people, and they do not understand the way a majority of Americans in this country define patriotism. That is a huge divide between Democrats and liberals and normal people, particularly in the media. Back after this, folks. Sit tight. We waterboarded Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, and that's how we found out every detail we know about 9/11. I think there were a total of 3 prisoners that we waterboarded, at least admitted waterboarding down at Club Gitmo. Anyway, fastest 3 hours in media rolling right on. We've got one left, and it starts right after this.